Greetings, doll lovers and horror fans. I am Master Dolly, the Doll Master, inviting you to my house of dolls, where the dolls come alive and the horror begins.
This is the Conscious Radio Network.
Ooh, good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be on the spaceship we call Earth, the spookiest spaceship we have. So much craziness going on. And I tell you what, welcome to this special series called True Ghost Stories. Tonight we have a special guest, all the way from the UK. We want to talk about a Victorian ghost. Bronwyn Banks has an interesting story to tell. And we want to welcome to the show, Bronwyn. How you doing?
I'm okay, thanks. Thank you.
Awesome.
Excited.
So we've been trying to get the image, trying to do video, but unfortunately we're going to try to supplement that later. And but as long as we got the audio, that is what matters. So let's dive right into this. This is after reading the story, it gave me goosebumps. And let's go back. Let's go back in time and when this first happened. What was were you a skeptic about the paranormal?
I was then. I mean, my best friend, who I've known since 3 years old, and so I believe everything she says. One night, we were in my bedroom, and she said, "I see a Victorian fisherwoman, who works down by the quay with the fish by your bed." And I thought, "Oh yeah, whatever." Didn't think anything of it. Then about 3 or 4 nights later, I was just turned my light off, just settling down to go to sleep, and this woman's face appeared, really like Victoria, really like fierce woman, kind of woman you won't want to meet on a dark night in a dark alleyway, put it that way.
Yeah.
And all I saw was a hand, a face and a hand. All I saw. We looked at each other for I would say a couple of seconds, and then all of a sudden she came towards me with her hands really she was going to attack me, really. And my light went on, and it was on for the rest of the night. It was just really, I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next day. Pardon?
Yeah, I'd keep the lights on too. Yeah.
I was scared stiff. I thought, anyway, the next day I rang my best friend. The whole truth and nothing but it. I said, "Describe that woman you saw in my bedroom." And no word of her lie, she described her to a T. And I saw her last night. And she went, "You're joking." Wait, I'm not joking. Anyway, a few nights after that, I actually, again, settled down to go to sleep. And in the bottom of her bed, it was like a silhouette of a shadow of a figure leaning on the bottom of my bed. And I went, okay, here we go. And I've actually recorded orbs in my bedroom. And the thing, then I started watching Sam and Colby, and I went, They were at the Langham, Billingham, the one of the hotels in America, and they
Yeah.
were talking about vortexes, and they were like this cube of vortexes, and I looked and I went, I had a mirror at the back of my bed, like a heart mirror. Then across the room, I had a long mirror, and I went, hang on, I've got a vortex, and I thought, no wonder this place is haunted. And it wasn't just my bedroom; it was like the whole house. Because at night I used to hear whispering, like someone would like whispering my name, like when, and I was like, oh, I need to get out of this place. So I
Yeah.
did move, you know, but and then also I did some investigating. I thought I'm going to investigate this. So I looked like old pictures of Hartlepool where I live, and it was like one, and it was like Christmas, the street I lived in, and it was of a house that had been bombed during the Blitz,
Mm.
Second World War. And I
Yeah.
realised, I went, that's my house. That, and when I looked, the room that was actually bombed, it was the room that would have been my bedroom. And
Whoa.
I thought, yeah. So I put two and two together and thought, no wonder. So since then, and since watching these two hunters that I watch, I've become a true believer of it now, you know. And I've spoken to people that said, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I thought, yeah, well, you need to believe it to actually experience it, you know. But my last straw is I actually got pushed down the stairs. I was going down the stairs, let me sure I was pushed. And I was pushed to my bedroom in the lounge and actually badly fractured my elbow. I thought, I need to get out of here before anything else happens,
Yeah.
you know.
How
The
how
reason I
long?
don't want him,
Yeah. How
I
long
would say,
did you
how
live
long
in that
ago
house?
was that? Oh, about, I was there about 2 or 3 years, even
Yeah.
more. Because I've got a little son. He's old now, quite young. He's grown up, and he was a baby when we were in there. And then he was like at primary school when we left. So it's quite a long time,
Huh.
you know. But I didn't start experiencing this stuff until he moved out. That's when I started to experience it. You know,
Mm.
so I'm glad it wasn't when he was in the house, you
Yeah.
know. And it's weird, it was after I saw that woman that's when everything started to happen,
Yeah.
you know. So I
Have you
don't
tried
know.
doing any other investigative work to try to find
No, well,
out
like I
who
said
this
to
woman
you
was?
in text earlier, I've
Yeah.
moved since then. I've
Mm.
moved now. And I actually did it with my friend once at night. And I've kind of lost the videos. I think I changed phones. And we were
Yeah.
on my bed, like calling out. And it's a video hit me. I was actually getting pulled off the bed. No,
Whoa.
you know, and I thought, poltergeist, I need to get out of this house, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've got the mirrors in this house, but in different rooms, and it's still kind of concerning me that whatever, are they still in the mirrors or, you know. But that's why I didn't want to mention the street because I know someone else who actually lives there, you know, so I don't want it to be known, you
Yeah.
know. So.
Mm.
And that was like the first time I've ever experienced it.
Have you
So
experienced anything since then?
don't know if you know Edinburgh, Scotland. Scotland, Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's on my bucket list.
yeah.
I wanna go there. Yes.
Oh, is it? Well, you should go. Greyfriars Kirk is one of the most haunted graveyards in Edinburgh. It's actually
Wow.
considered to be the most haunted graveyard in the world. It's creepy. I was in there one night with my ex-boyfriend and a friend, and they were like behind me, and I was just looking, and I saw a shadow of someone hunched over, and then there's this grave, like blocked, just like Colosseum, like blocked off, and then we were near there, and I was like really near to it, and I had a pain here. I thought, didn't think anything of it. We went back the next night, and it happened again,
Mm.
and I spoke to the tour guide, and he said, oh, he said, don't. He said, the man who's buried there, he wasn't good in life. He let him suffer in death. He said, and there's plague victims underneath on it. Right.
Oof.
And a while ago, I went back in, and every time I go in that place, I get heavy chest. I get
Yeah.
pain here. And I went to took a picture of this area of the graveyard, and I walked away, and something made, I don't know what it was, something made me go back, and I saw a shadow at the side of it. I walked, I was away. I thought, you know, what's happening to me? And my best friend, she said, Rowan, you've got the gift. You know, you can feel things, and, you know, but as I've never really, I haven't really experienced anything else since then, but every time I go into that graveyard, I'll experience something,
Hmm.
you know.
Have you sometimes when we experience this, we don't know if, trying to give other people information and go, I just want to let you know that house is haunted. Have you reached
Mm.
out to the current
No, I haven't.
tenants?
I'm not really sure who lives there, and I don't want to give her
Yeah.
the scary collywop. I mean, it was
Yeah.
scary enough for me, so I don't want to frighten her as well. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it was at first. I thought it's my imagination. Then I thought, oh yeah, it's my you see things at night, don't you? And you see a shape at night, and when you're in the dark, you see all these shapes, don't you? And it
Mhm.
made me. I was thinking, have I just imagined that? But I could see this person as clear as day. It's like I'm looking at you. I could see her clear as day.
Yeah.
And it
So
was
she
just
wasn't really an
weird.
apparition, even though she was an apparition. She's basically solid. She wasn't translucent,
Yeah, she
correct?
was clear as day. Her
Wow.
her face was fat. Shall I like the Victorian hats the women wear? She had one of
Yeah.
them on, and she was as fierce as anything. I thought, you don't want to meet you in a dark night. I don't want to get round you wrong. But the thing is that she came towards me with her hands. I went, you
Huh.
know, I've never been so scared. And
Yeah.
I thought, oh, yeah.
Now, sometimes what
Oh,
I like to do is analyze, specific, encounters such as this,
yeah, yeah,
and,
yeah.
we as, the living, I mean, we have a biology and a physiology that reacts to certain things,
Yeah.
but we kind of interpret them the wrong way, and in a lot of
Mm,
cases that I had investigated in the past is what people first claim as a demonic encounter or a demonic possession or oppression
mm,
or some sort of entity being attacked by our
yeah.
first instinct is the fight or flight mechanism. We get scared
Mm, mm,
and we think
mhm.
that it's a malevolent entity when in truth they're actually trying to communicate to us and they're trying to give us a
Yeah,
message.
yeah, yeah.
Now,
Mm,
even though you felt scared and
mm.
because at first, I mean, this is a first encounter, so you're like, "Oh my god, what?" You're the fight or flight
Yeah,
mechanism,
yeah.
or get the hell out of here, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
do you feel looking back at it and kinda just analyze and go, "Maybe she was trying to reach out to me, and she was literally trying to reach out to you to try to give you a
Mm.
message?"
Maybe, maybe. Because the funny thing is, well, not funny, it was like just after we lost my dad 30 odd years ago. And also in there, when I was in there, I have felt my dad a lot. He used to come and sit on the bed. And one night I did go to bed a bit really upset. And I felt, you feel like someone's stroking your hand,
Yeah.
and I felt that. I knew it was my dad.
Mm,
So I think maybe analyzing now, thinking about it, maybe it was something like my dad. But I know for a fact my dad would never want me to be scared. He'll never
mm,
want me to be frightened. So I don't know. I
yeah.
mean, I felt my dad a lot in that place. You know, there was one night I remember my son was small. I felt like someone had come and give me a real kiss. I felt the kiss. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I had to go up and check to see if my son was asleep or it was him. He had just come and gave me a kiss and ran back to bed. But he
Mm.
was sound asleep. And I thought, well, what was that? You know? Um, but sometimes I know it was my dad. I could feel him. I know when it was my dad, he used to come and sit on my bed and stuff. I could feel him. But I know he would never want me to be scared. So I don't know if it was like my dad trying to communicate with me or another relative who was mad with me that decided to come through. I'm not sure. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell and hard to differentiate at
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
our emotions that are because all the time our emotions are just running crazy when we experience stuff
Mm,
like this. I mean, it happened to me sometimes. Most of the times I'm used to it, but
mm,
when it
mm,
does happen, when spirits are present and they're trying to
mm,
communicate, our bodies
mm,
naturally go into a physiological overload. We get the goosebumps on
mm,
we get the
mm,
chills. We can feel the
mm,
presence, but because we can't see them or see what it is or who it is, our
mm,
brains are going, something's not normal here. And
mm,
we kind of go, oh crap, I'm scared. What's
mm,
that? So,
mm. Yeah,
um,
yeah.
yeah, it's really hard to it's hard to fake the I wouldn't say fake. It's hard to convince the physiology of our
Mm,
psyche to not
mm.
be scared.
Yeah.
It's natural.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
but so this being a woman dressed in a Victorian old Victorian outfit. Yeah, it
Yeah,
seemed like
yeah.
I mean, I don't really study the fads or the dress of particular eras, even though sometimes
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do, but
yeah.
I'm not too familiar of the dress back in
Mhm.
what you said, like, you said World War II, that this was the
Yeah.
area of the town that had gotten, blitzed by,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Nazis. Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
now have even though I asked you if you before about any further investigations and stuff like that, and,
Mm.
but uh, do you intend on maybe trying to look into it a little bit more? Maybe trying to just slowly maybe go to, like, the city or the town and try to get, like, maybe
Well,
death
I'm
records
actually
and stuff like
thinking
that?
now, I'm thinking about it. I might actually go to my local library and
Mm,
see if they have any information on that street. And
yeah,
maybe, like, did anyone pass away in that house? But it's weird because that was like the 1940s or something. And what I'm wondering is, where did this Victorian woman fit into? I
yeah,
want to know, go back like Victorian time and see if anybody did live in that house in
yeah.
Victorian time, died or something, you know,
Did
because
it yeah,
it'd be
did it seem
interesting to know. And I'm actually thinking about doing it, really,
yeah,
going back,
yeah, and then kind of, like,
you know.
digging into what you remember as far as the type of dress that she is
Yeah,
wearing
yeah.
is
But like I said, all I saw was the head. It was like
mm,
Victorian, like what it was like hat things that they used to wear in Victorian films. I've seen.
yeah, yeah.
Well, all I saw was her head, really, and hands. So I didn't see any of her body.
I
So
was trying to think too, some of the Victorian movies. This is probably either pre or post, um, the silent movie era, because I think Charlie Chaplin was
yeah,
back in, like,
maybe.
20s and 30s and stuff like that, but I think that
Yeah.
those were still popular in the mid, late
Mm,
30s. Not too
mm,
familiar, but,
mm,
uh, yeah, because then you gotta look at too the type of hat, because not I mean, you also have to look at the class of people back in that day is,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
you had people that were wealthy that wore a
Mm,
particular hat, and then you had those
yeah.
that were like the middle class and lower class that wore particular
Mm,
hats. I mean, hats were worn a lot
mm.
back in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah, that's true.
And it
Yeah.
was a sign. It was a little bit of a sign of of your class. Um,
Mm,
and also the type of clothing you wore too was obviously a sign of
mm,
the class. I mean, we're used to seeing
mm.
in movies people that wore like, you see a lot of back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, people who wore like tuxes or suits and stuff like that. It's like,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, yeah,
You're gonna wear
yeah.
that all the time? And so,
No,
yeah,
no. I mean, the long dresses and everything they wore then. I've been watching videos of people get dressed like Victorian times and everything. I don't think I would like you being around there. Thank you very much. I'm more like where we are now, But it'd just be interesting to actually figure it all out, So and try and work out where this woman came from,
yeah.
and how is she connected to that house,
Have
Because
you tried reaching out to any local mediums or psychics?
I am going actually. I'm not really, but actually, I've got a bit of a health problem at the moment, which I'm hoping to get settled soon. So when I do, I'm actually thinking about joining a paranormal group up here in my
Mm,
hometown. And this is all thanks to Sam and Colby, because they always say, like, get off the couch and get out of comfort zone. And it's just, I'm more interested in this paranormal stuff now.
yeah,
Even though my mum said, you don't want to get mixed up with the weird people and blah, blah, blah. But I thought, well, it's a hobby. It's something I want to do. So I could reach out to them and say if they know anything. But like I said, I don't want to go and scare the wits out of this person that lives there now. Um, but
yeah.
I'm just scared that nothing followed me here, and I've not experienced anything. But
Hmm.
it's the whispering as well that I had that's really intriguing.
So
So I used to have people who were
you're still
whispering my
you're s
name at night.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Are you still
Tom?
getting the whisper? Are
Yeah.
you still hearing the
No,
whispers every
not
now and
since
then?
I moved here, not since I've moved. But it
Oh,
was
okay.
like every night, like it was like really like
Oh, wow.
When I went up the stairs, I had like an attic at the top of the stairs, and some unknown reason that
Yeah,
terrified the wits out of me. 'Cause I'm thinking, is someone gonna come down there? But it was like the whispering, and how did they know my name? And it was
yeah.
really like. And
Um,
now since then, I've actually got a phobia. I'm terrified of silence. I'm absolutely terrified of it
oh,
because it
yeah.
was all right during the night, but as soon as it came dark, the whole vibe of that place changed.
Wow.
The whole vibe, the whole house changed. And now I'm absolutely terrified of silence.
Mm,
Not so much during the day, but at night.
yeah. Now do you like,
It really freaks me. Um,
yeah. What do
yeah.
you do to kind of combat that? Do you, like, turn on a radio for
Put
background noise
music
or
on. When I lived there, it used to happen. I had to go upstairs, go into my bedroom, put something on YouTube or music in my bedroom,
mm,
take my phone and put music on in the bathroom. So I would have music all the time and watch YouTube or something as soon as I got into bed and
yeah,
have music on until I fell asleep. Even here in this house, it was like one night and I was just coming to bed and I was in the hall and the house was just dead silent and I just freaked out. I had to come in here and just put something on straight away. And now, yeah, I've just got a total phobia. Hate it.
yeah.
Where before it didn't bother me, but now it really freaks me out.
Mm,
And
mm,
that's ever since then. It's like I said, the vibe of the whole place changed at night. You know, it was really scary.
yeah. Do you
Yeah.
still, experience those, like, dead silences?
Yeah, all the time. Ever since, it's like this house, I haven't felt a thing. Um, I've got palms all over the place because I'm a Catholic. So I've
Yeah.
got blessed palms all over the house, so they don't bother me. But yeah, the silence freaks me out,
Mm.
really, totally. You know, uh,
And
I just come to bed and watch YouTube just for some noise until I know I'm really tired and I'm just gonna fall straight asleep. You know, in the
now,
day I just have music everywhere in the morning.
yeah,
So
I can't wait till the sun comes up. So please, please.
yeah. But
Um,
have you heard of that before, where people get these phobias?
yeah, yeah, especially after
Yeah,
first experiences. Um, and it's
yeah,
something like it's kind of like out of the frying pan and into the fire.
mm,
You get to the point where it's like, okay, you either fear it or you embrace it. And
yeah,
it's hard to embrace it, especially, it depends on the person.
mm,
I ended up embracing it. And
right,
because I realized, okay, well, I have abilities. I have the I have the psychic and the medium gifts, and I've realized that a long
yeah.
time ago
Oh,
as a
right,
child, but
right,
I didn't really attune to it until I started taking classes on it and started learning the
yeah,
academics of it
yeah,
and started practicing it. Um,
yeah,
and then getting into the paranormal investigation aspect of it, the scientific level, even
mm,
still today, even experiencing certain things and experiencing an entity or
mm,
it's like you still get the fear. The body just naturally reacts to the presence of a
yeah,
spirit or an entity because
mm-hmm,
the energy within the atmosphere does change.
yeah,
The
yeah,
ions change and
mm,
yeah, feels cold. Um,
mm,
and yeah, and we see that in movies all the time, when one of those weird haunting movies and stuff, and the
yeah,
ghost shows up and the person gets cold, and when you can now then see their breath, it's like, oh wait, hold it's like they walked into a
yeah,
freezer.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but did you experience those feelings too, like the temperature of the room getting colder?
Yeah, especially in my bedroom. My bedroom would be cold all the time, absolutely
Mm.
freezing.
All the time?
It was like draft in the house.
Yeah.
And especially in my bedroom. It's like, oh, what's this? Why is my room so cold? The other house, the rest of the house wasn't. It was just my bedroom. So I always think something's happened in this bedroom that's, you know, because it was always my bedroom, you know, that was cold, but there was more. That was where the most of the activity was,
Yeah.
and it was just
Huh.
like I said. I actually videoed some orbs in my bedroom one night. It was like scary. But so much so now, I love it now. I actually want to go exploring with Sam Kobe. I want to
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
experience it. Um, I think
Huh.
really I want to do more with it because I think I've really come now since then become a true believer. And I
Yeah.
think if I went back and actually lived a Christmas tree, I'll have a different aspect of it now than I did before. You know,
And
different
2 is,
feeling of the place.
and it's a way for you to embrace the
Yeah,
work and embrace it because when by doing that, you will, slowly lose the fear that might be, um, mm, I don't know, lack of a better word, losing part of the fear that
mm,
is a weakness that is presenting itself as a weakness, like, being afraid of dead silence, no pun intended.
mm,
But,
mm.
you might end up kinda losing that fear aspect by embracing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
paranormal
yeah,
investigation
yeah, yeah,
aspect.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, because they're two really interesting guys. So I think that would really, I thought, yeah, I can do this. I'm not a bit scared because they've got all the gadgets and everything. I thought, yeah,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I can do this now.
And especially,
I could have
especially,
done it before.
yeah, especially seeking out, and joining and that's the thing, yeah, joining a group and a team that also
Mm,
has, one, two, or maybe several, intermittent, or, uh, people that can change out as a medium or a psychic.
mm,
Mediums are even better
mm.
because being a direct conduit of communication.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but a a lot of the teams do use or have someone on staff that is a medium that can come in
mm,
either before or after and do a reading of a particular place, and
yeah,
then gathering all the scientific evidence and then
yeah,
coming together at the end of the investigation and kind of match that
yeah,
information up.
yeah. Sam
Um,
and Colby have actually had a couple of mediums on their show. When they do their videos, so I think, yeah,
yeah.
I want to do this. I want to. I'm definitely gonna try and reach out to them because I think, yeah,
Yeah,
they,
absolutely, absolutely, and, yeah,
yeah,
definitely, yeah, and reach out to many others. Just say, "Hey, I'm so and so,
yeah.
and this
Well,
is
I
this is
reached
the
out
story," and
to one in my town, but they're not taking any new members yet. I thought, well,
oh,
let me know when you are, because
yeah.
if there's anywhere in my hometown, I'll do it. You know, um, it's something I've got the book now. I want to learn more. I want to do more.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but can I ask you, Sam Goldberg, one of the lads, he's getting attachments. Do you know much about that?
What was that again?
He's getting attachments where spirits are actually attaching themselves to
Oh,
him
yeah, yeah,
and using
yeah.
him like a taxi cab or whatever they call it.
Oh, yeah. Um, I've heard of that happening.
Yeah, yeah.
I've known a couple people in some of, my past investigations that have had attachments. We've done actually
Mm.
I've had 2 I've done 2
Have
exorcisms,
you?
assisted in 2
All
exorcisms.
right.
One was an
Yeah.
attachment one was an attachment to a house, a property, and,
All right.
the 2 tenants in it, the entity attached to the, the male of the family, and,
Right.
it took about 2 weekends. It was multiple investigations to go in
Mm.
and, discover what it is, who it is, why, and then,
Mm.
um, kinda going, "Okay." Then we kinda bring in, our professional, our spiritual, our reverends, and actually
Mm.
do now it was oppression and not, possession. So,
Mm.
the entity, it wasn't demonic, but it was an entity that didn't have really nice, you know, reasons for
Mm.
doing what it was doing,
Mm.
and, it attached itself to, the person, and, it
Mm.
um, a an oppression,
Mm.
and I had another individual that, she had an attachment, for a while and
Mm.
reached out to the church,
Mm.
and, we ended up getting, our clergy, our parishioners together, the chosen parishioners
Mm.
together,
Mm.
along with
Mm.
all the ordained reverends and stuff like that, and then,
Mm.
uh, setting up a circle to help release the attachment, um,
Mm.
so it worked.
Yeah, but
Sometimes it
do
takes a
you have
while.
to be open to it? Do you have to be? It
Um,
seems to be it's only Sam who gets them, and I was just wondering, are they
yeah.
more open? That's why they go to them.
Sometimes, yeah, it depends on a lot of different factors.
Right.
It can be your lifestyle, It can be
Yeah.
the people or the people you associate with. The attachments can
Mm.
move from one person to another. It can be
All
beliefs.
right.
Your
Yeah.
belief is a very, very powerful tool,
Mm. Mm.
but belief can be a good thing and a bad thing. And
Mm.
I mean, if you have beliefs of demonic energy and demonic powers, and this is gonna happen or that gonna happen, you're gonna end up sabotaging yourself, and that's gonna
Yeah.
draw
Yeah.
in the
Mm.
negative energies and attachments. Um,
Oh, scary.
and if you have a history of drug abuse in the family, like
Mm.
alcohol abuse and certain drug
Mm.
abuse,
Mm. It
that
should
it
be
definitely
everywhere
manifests.
haunted place they go to. They seem to everything seems to happen to them, and then Sam seems to get these attachments, and it's just
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
sorry for the guy, really. Just you know,
yeah, yeah.
um,
They're hitchhikers. It's like they
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what they've said that before in the video. Yeah.
yeah, and in a lot of spiritual practices and a lot of spiritual, I wouldn't say religions, but a lot of spiritual organizations and ancient beliefs is, especially in the academia of spiritualism, that um, one of the natural laws is the law of attraction. But when it comes to
Mm.
like the spirits and the attachments and stuff like that, is like
Mm.
energy attracts like energy. So
Mm.
if somebody is dabbling into like the dark arts and the
Mm.
the darker points of witchcraft, if you don't have good intentions of the work you're doing,
Mm.
the metaphysical work you're doing, and you're out to get
Mm.
people and using that craft for the bad
Mm.
and not so
Mm.
good, you're going to attract that type of energy.
Yeah.
And
But what if you're just normal ghost hunters, just normal people you doing? Because like one of them, he actually went to Sally House. Have you ever
mhm,
heard of the Sally House somewhere in America? And they went down the cellar, and it used to be a pentagram on the ground. It was all wiped off, but Sam sat on the pentagram, and they're convinced that Sam actually has got this Sally person attached to him.
wow.
So I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it's just
And it's like,
strange,
yeah, it's like
but it's got
anything else.
me more the fun.
And it's like anything else,
It's got me.
if people if we believe that if something is going to happen, if especially if we're told,
Mm,
if we're told this is gonna happen if you do this, or that's gonna
mm,
happen if you do that,
mm,
and if that happens
mm,
and happens and happens all the time, then
mm,
it's programming. Then we're gonna start
mm,
to believe stuff like that, and
mm,
that's why belief is so powerful. And to
mm,
convince ourselves that, to gain our power back, to get our own power back and say, "No, I'm standing my
mm,
ground. I
mm,
am only going to allow the highest and best energies, the highest and best entities, and only the light of God to come through
mm,
and protect me." And even in
mm,
a lot of our, exorcisms and or, work that we do, for protection and
mm,
stuff is always, reciting the Lord's Prayer. And,
mm,
and, you know, even though there's a lot of people that are not they're not necessarily religious, but they're spiritual,
mm,
I figure, if you came into this world a Christian, or you came into this world, you know, Jewish or whichever religion, Sikh
mm,
or Islamic, it doesn't matter. If
mm,
you were brought into this world with a particular religion, but you still have some sort of you still recognize it as, love, because that's what most
mm,
religions teach anyway. It's love. It's kindness and
yeah,
the basics of it. That
mm,
you still use that as protection. You still use that as a form
mm,
of protection, because that
yeah,
raises your vibration to help in the protection
mm,
during certain
mm,
investigations.
Mm.
Um,
Have
but
you had a paranormal experience?
lots. That would probably,
Oh, dearie me, what
if I
about
were to explain
right?
all the paranormal experiences I've
What
had,
about your first one? Your very first one?
that would probably take up
No.
probably 10 episodes, maybe 10. I don't know.
All right. Carry on. I was just
Yeah,
curious. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
crikey. So,
But I think, I'm gonna be on another podcast in a couple weeks. Is it a couple weeks? I think it's a couple weeks. I'm
you should
being
get Sam and
recorded.
Kobe on, I think, a bit. They would be very interested.
Oh yeah. Now what's their names?
Now, Sam Goldberg and Colby Brock. I'll tell you, put it this way. I promise you, if they come on, I'll definitely want to be on.
Ah, there you go.
And I'll get my camera sorted out.
Colby Brock.
I've been a fan with theirs for absolutely years. And because of them, I'm the way I am now, true believer.
Yeah.
You know. Definitely. I'll get my camera sorted.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. You know. Because
Yeah.
I would be interested to ask them some questions about it, and see and get their side, get their opinion.
Yeah, yeah. And now as far as moving forward with the the experience that you had with this Victorian woman, is there anything that stands out when you look back? Now, I forgot. How long ago did this happen?
About 6 or 7 years ago. That I think. Can't remember how long ago. It was years ago. Absolutely years ago. You know.
Now, when you look back on it or think back on it, does anything come out as far as details that wasn't there before? Like, oh my God, I now remember something else that happened that
No, I think I said everything really.
yeah,
Think.
yeah,
Yeah. You know.
yeah. Now, as far
But
as the event too, the experience, it's obviously impressed on you to move forward and be more proactive and kind of moving forward to help other people with events and investigation, and possibly you moving forward with or it impressing on you to learn more about this entity and
yeah,
finding out who this
yeah.
entity
I
really is.
know. When I get a chance, I will go down to my central library. There should be
Mm,
someone down there who could help me,
yeah,
to find if I can find anything out,
yeah.
like who lived there before and, did anything big incident happen like Victorian times, you know,
Mhm,
or if
yeah,
the house was there. I mean, maybe the house wasn't there, but it could be maybe the area.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then that
Um,
stuck in that area at that time, and then
yeah.
a house was built on top.
And you haven't
This house,
seen this woman before yet. Since then, you
no,
haven't
no,
yet
no,
since.
no, haven't seen her. She
So
hasn't followed me here, thank goodness.
that's a good thing.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
does that make sense? Though it
yeah.
could be
Yeah. An
stuck
attachment
in
that
that
she's an
time,
attachment
and that
to
house
that
is
area.
actually built on that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could be,
Because
you know what I mean?
if she didn't have an attachment to the property or to that area, that home and stuff like that, then
Yeah,
she'd
yeah,
be visiting you in other ways, like your dreams, coming up through your dreams. Now that also now begs the
yeah,
question: have you since
yeah.
then experienced any like unusual dreams about the
No,
event?
nothing. Well, just weird dreams now. It's mainly about the family because
Mm,
I've got so much on my plate and mind at the moment that
yeah,
I think I dream about my family more than anything. Trying to
yeah,
solve family problems out, but nothing. to this point where I think, oh yeah, that woman was in my dream again. You know, um, I haven't really actually think about it. Once I remember I had a friend here. I had been to the loo or something to my other bedroom, and she was in the kitchen, and then I've got the lounge, and the door was open. I thought I saw like a shadow,
Yeah.
and I said to my friend, "Were you just in the lounge?" And she went, "No." And I said, "I just thought I saw a shadow, but that was the once, and I haven't experienced anything since." Because, like, I mean, I'm worried about these mirrors, you know. And I was talking to someone on who's into the paranormal on Facebook one day, messaging her, and she said, well, I would suggest it. You're a Christian now, aren't you? She said, palms. I said, yeah, I've got them all over the house. She said, put one behind the two mirrors. So I have done. And she said that if anything's in there, they'll stay in there. You know, so, but I haven't experienced anything since then, since moving in here. You know, apart from that thing, I was maybe seeing things and imagining it was something, but I haven't experienced anything major. You know, like something's followed me here, thank goodness. You know,
Now, has your
I take
friend
peace in this house.
that had first saw this woman that when she
Oh,
said, "Hey,
she's
had
always.
she?"
I haven't really spoken to her about it actually, but now since you've mentioned it, I think if I ring her tomorrow, I'm going to say, look, since have you experienced anything since? Have you experienced anything? You know, and see
Mhm.
what she said. I haven't really brought it up, but I will ask her tomorrow when I ring her.
Yeah,
You know, and say I was on this, and have you experienced anything since? You know, um, but it just brings up a lot of questions and stuff that I really want to get sorted out, you know,
yeah,
and find out
yeah.
where this woman came from and the connection. And
Hmm.
maybe she has got a connection to me. I don't know.
Yeah, and
Don't think about
that's
any of her
another
relatives that got back and
that's
you
another
know,
interesting thing too, is kind of going back and researching your family tree and seeing if there's
yeah,
anybody
yeah,
in your family that may
yeah,
have,
like,
experienced, either a lot of
yeah,
people back
yeah,
then did not want
yeah,
to,
yeah. Or
uh
maybe it was just a one-off and, you
yeah,
know, I mean, like everybody knows, people even say, oh, maybe you were thinking about what Jackie said and everything. I said I wasn't, you know, um, I kind of put that in the back of my mind because right then, before that, up to that point, I didn't believe. I thought, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, whatever. Um, so, like, I didn't even think anything of it. I had enough on my plate at the time, so you know, um, I didn't, you know, and till that point when I saw her, you know, it's like, ugh, who is this person, you know? But
yeah,
you know,
yeah, it's,
I suppose I put maybe it was like a shape in the dark, like you see, like you know, when you look at night in the dark, you see all these shapes and everything. You know.
yep,
But I tell you something else, right, was really freaky. And I lived at Christmas Street. I was like, one night, I was like, lying awake, and I saw like these light figures. They think I don't know what they were, but I saw this young girl, and she was all in white, right, and she was like by the curtain, and then all of a sudden, I saw her rise up,
mm, wow,
like she was taken up towards the light, or whatever you call it. And I
yeah,
kind of I went, oh, okay. You
wow,
know, and that kind of freaked me out a bit, but I thought, what the heck, you know, I need to get out of this house because it was just, you know, it was really freaky. But she was in like a long white nightie, and you would think she would be from like the era, 1940s or something, but she just had like a white nightie on, or something
yeah,
white on, you know, and she went up, rose up, I went,
huh,
okay, you know,
yeah,
um,
wow.
freaky, you know,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I keep me posted on your
I will. I will.
investigations,
I'll text
and
you. Yeah, I
your
will. I will. And I
I'm
will
definitely
speak to
curious,
my friend tomorrow.
and
Like I
sharing
say,
sharing
I've been
some.
on here and I really want to start
Yeah.
researching this and, you know,
And yeah,
but
send me some picture if you have some pictures, especially like the picture of the
I'll
graveyard.
actually try and look, because I've got
Yeah.
to see loads of photos like you do. I'll send you a video of all the orbs.
Okay.
I mean, I
Um,
should have thought really of taking a picture of this one, but at the moment, that time, I was frozen stiff. Like,
oh.
uh, uh,
Yeah.
I was scared if I got the camera up, she would have done something to me. So I didn't. So I think I've got video of all the orbs I had in my bedroom. So
Mm.
I'll send them to you because I've never experienced anything like that before. And I thought, because orbs are they? What are they? Are they like entities or the spirit? Are they? What are orbs anyway?
They can be a combination of all types of things. They can be entities. They can be
Right.
spirit, which can be what do you call it? Elementals, the energy of elementals. Um,
Mm,
it can be a phenomenon known as ball lightning. It can
mm,
be a phenomenon which is still continuously being studied, and
right.
but there's been some studies on it. There's an artist out there that actually does take some photos of these orbs, and they
Mm,
magnify the orb to the point where you get to see all the different colors in it, where the colors
mm,
kind of tell you the energy of this particular entity, similar to like
mm,
our chakra fields and stuff like that, the different colors of our
mm,
chakras, similar to that.
mm, mm,
Um, but I mean, when you take photographs, it's really hard to, whether photographs or video, it's really, really, it's very tricky to be able to differentiate whether it's a, lens flare, or if it's, particle
mm,
reflection from the flash or
mm,
the light. I mean, it's really,
mm.
really hard to differentiate that.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I'll send
really
them
have
to
to
you.
set it
You
up.
can let
You
me
know,
know.
you'd have to set the investigation up where it's a controlled environment, and
Mm,
um, being able to put these controls in place to try
mm,
to repeat a phenomenon or create a phenomenon, um,
mm,
to capture that type of evidence. It's
mm,
tricky, but
mm.
the popular belief is that they're spiritual entities, and
All right.
they're showing themselves as these orbs. So
Yeah. So that house was totally haunted, full of
yeah,
something. I
yeah,
will send you the video and you can actually let me know what you think, you know.
definitely. Yeah,
But
yeah. I definitely like to take a
yeah,
look, and maybe add them in. I'll can add them into this broadcast too. That way,
yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah,
no, we're not always, since we couldn't get your video. I figure we can add in
yeah,
some imagery and stuff
yeah.
like that
Oh,
for some
well,
media that
next
you might
time
share.
I will. Yeah, I'll have a
Yeah,
word with my brother is very technical, so I'll have
there
a
you
word with my brother and say, help. I need help.
yeah,
Yeah, how do I get this up? You know,
yeah,
because I'm on Zoom as well, you know, so I don't know if that would have worked.
yeah. It may have, um,
Yeah, well, that's a,
and
I'll
then
I'll
yeah, because then
download
the
it
editing,
again
yeah,
for
yeah,
next. I didn't think of it really. I've just thought about it now. But thank you. I've really kind of found this very interesting, and I've got the book now, so I really want to take
yeah.
this further. And
Definitely,
you
yeah,
know,
definitely, yeah. It's. I think it's a calling for you. I think you're being called to do it. This is kind of like a
mhm,
These are the trials before jumping out of the frying pan and into the fire and going, yes,
Into the
okay,
fire.
I need to
Yeah,
study
yeah,
this
yeah,
and stuff like that. And
yeah.
yeah, let me know how your investigations work, how your research goes with this entity,
I will. I will.
and um
Right.
and yeah, let's stay in touch. And if I ever visit Edinburgh, I'll
Yeah.
I'll give you a ring.
Well, you go to Great Price. I don't actually live there. I live somewhere in England, but
Okay.
I'm actually going up. I'm going up on the 10th of August for 4 days to the Edinburgh Festival. So I go every
Uh,
year.
yeah,
And praying. I've hinted to on Twitter to Sam Colby. Please, please, please.
right.
I want to go there with all my gadgets. And then there's this place called the Underground Vaults where people used to live like centuries ago. And I went on the tour and it said, oh, a little boy ghost will hold your hand all the way through. And
Huh.
actually, a little boy ghost held my hand. So,
Oh wow, that is
so yeah.
wow.
Yeah, you should do. Great Price Kirk. It's one of the actually Edinburgh is one of the most haunted cities. They had the witch trials, the plague and body snatchers. So
Ooh, wow.
full of haunted. Yeah. So
Yeah. That might
interesting
be one
place
of
to visit
that
if
could be
you're
one of next
paranormal.
year's that could be one of next year's haunted shows that we can do for Halloween.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of paranormal people there, but it's very haunted. So
Wow.
but thank you for giving me the bug, Kevin, because I really have the bug now. And you
You
know,
were very, very, very welcome. And Bronwyn, thank you very much for joining us today. And
pleasure.
definitely keep me posted. So
Right, okay. And sorry for the technical difficulties.
oh, it happens, man. It happens. It just happens.
Yeah, yeah.
Anytime I want
But
to talk about
do
spirit, it's back.
so if you do get in touch with Sam and Cole, because I tell you, they're hilarious. They're really, really, they're the best ghost hunters on YouTube, and they really are interesting to talk to.
Definitely. I
Yeah,
will definitely do that, and I will let them know you're trying to get a hold of them as well.
I am definitely. Thank you
Cool.
very much.
You're
Take
welcome,
care.
Rowan.
Oh, no, condolences for your son as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Blessings, my friend. Good luck and God bless.
All right. Thank you. Take care. I'll speak
Take
soon.
take
Bye.
care, my friend. Thank you all for watching Conscious
Bye.
Radio Network's True Ghost Stories, and until then, we'll see you next.